What should I do with my daughter's belongings? I am a 37 meters. It's a long story and I don't want to get into the details, but I have two teenage daughters 18 and 17 years old. My oldest had went to a concert on a school night without telling me and we got into argument about it. She was 17 at the time too. But I got upset and was grounding her, but instead the next day they decided they no longer wanted to live with me and left with their mom. I was letting their mom stay here too at the time after she was evicted. But they left and didn't take anything with them. I have their mother's belongings from her eviction and 2 bedrooms just as my daughters left them, coming up on a year ago now. I'm sick of their bedrooms being there and them not coming home, but I can't bring myself to doing anything about it. And I mean they left everything they own. Clothes, shoes, iPads, to their Nintendo Switches. They took nothing with them except for their backpacks for school and the clothes that they wore that day. Leaving their iPad, Nintendo Switches, and clothes? I smell funny business and a lot of BS. This is like 5 of the story. And it probably contains errors. Are you in contact with them? Women don't up and leave everything they own behind them, without a reason. I bet those details you don't want to go into are interesting. That's exactly what I did. I was about 14. My dad hit me for the last time. I took nothing but my backpack and the clothes I had on and left as soon as I could. He came after me, but I think he was embarrassed about calling after me in public, so he turned around. I didn't see him for years. Even now, I cry every time I tell him I love him because I miss when I was younger and I thought he was the best man ever. 3 women don't just disappear out of the blue for a year without ever returning for any belongings, such as even clothes. They didn't just move out, they're in hiding. This isn't the full story. Give the belongings back and apologize if you want to have any kind of relationship with your children. I read that one is trans, they need your support up. I can't imagine how a 17-year-old going to a concert would translate to such a huge argument that they just decided to move out. I feel like you left out a bunch of important information and I think you must have said something really harsh or offensive to grant that reaction. Box their stuff up and store it. Labeled the boxes. They will find them after you die and it may give them some comfort. They literally fled with little more than the clothes on their back. That says a lot. Leave them all alone. 3 women, 2 of whom are minors, fleeing with nothing but the clothes on their back. Weird. Box all of it, stick them in a storage unit or put them in the closets in their rooms. Are they alive? Plot twist: he killed them and will use this Reddit post to prove his innocence. Op is probably physically verbally abusive lol and or probably killed them. What's the rest of the story? No one is going to leave a happy healthy home over being grounded. Not without all their precious belongings. Sounds like the word you missed is fled. So why did they flee from you leaving all their precious belongings behind? So they abandoned despite having nowhere, everything, no contact, since you apparently don't ever want them in your life again? Sounds like they were fleeing for the unlikely, even in contact with them or have contact details. Send a message asking if they want their stuff or not. If so, make arrangements for collection through them or third parties. If no contact, unable to contact, get storage boxes, pack it all up, label it, either keep it all somewhere in a home it doesn't bother you or a storage facility for a set period of time. Op killed them. Either box it all up and store it, or tell them to come get their things. Sounds like you might be an abusive person. Nice try, dude, but no one literally just leaves thousands of dollars of stuff. Why don't you tell the real story, bro? Is it because it shows how awful you actually are? I'm betting it does. I feel only suspicion about you. Op, you either need to tell the whole story, or reassess the situation if you think you have told the whole story. I ain't buying what you're selling right now. Sounds like OP murdered his entire family and tried to post this as an alibi ready for when the police seize his assets. Missing reasons. I'm guessing you've missed quite a lot of detail here. I think I just divorced you. Would you say you have a bit of a temper? Never sell it, they may want it back later and will resent you more if you do sell it. I would keep the house clean and leave things the way they are. Update. If they do want it back, away from you, you should return it immediately to them and write an apology letter if there were any abusive behavior involved. And you will have to accept any outcomes. Though putting stuff in storage boxes is a good idea. Go on. We're listening. Finish the story. This is fucking weird. Anyone else? You need to get into the details. Nobody just boots it and bounces out of their house leaving their clothes, iPads, or personal belongings without a damn good reasons. This is sketchy AF. Women don't just leave without their belongings. What are you hiding? Be a decent human being and pack everything into durable boxes like the black and yellow 27-gallon plastic tubs at Home Depot. Seal them with zip ties. Send it to them or drop it off where they live now. If you don't know where they are, store your kids' stuff forever. They'll appreciate it if they come back or when they find it after you've died. Are they alive? I left my husband with nothing of mine. There is a reason. Don't sugarcoat for validation. Women don't leave behind their belongings. This seems fishy. There is more to this story. Contact them in whichever way is considered to be appropriate considering the nature of the estrangement, and ask, specifically, do you want any of this stuff? If the answer is yes, you can ask them how they want to retrieve it, and coordinate on it. Lamau, how many times did you beat the fuck out of them before they left? I'd cry that detail wasn't included. A mother and kids wouldn't leave in such a rush and barely take anything with them just a concert. Usually that means they wanted to get out ASAP. I feel like you're not sharing the whole story. Why wouldn't you just give them their stuff back? Someone call the police on OP. They had their clothes on and school backpacks. And they never came back. What's the issue if there is no one living in the rooms? If you aren't expecting them to come back soon, I guess you could pack them up and move into storage if you can afford that. I would hope my parents would keep my stuff till I was ready to recover them and not get rid of them. Just me though. Ask her family to come get them. Box them up and ship them to them. Put them in a storage unit and give her the key to it. Are you looking for validation to throw away their stuff because you don't like that they left? I feel like there's a lot of missing info here and I feel like you have a lot more responsibility here than you are letting on. I have to ask, how bad was the situation in your house that adult girls haven't come back for their belongings? I feel like if someone was moving out or ready to leave, whether they were kicked out or not, they would try take what they could, especially teenagers. I couldn't see teenagers willingly just leaving all their possessions, especially the materialistic stuff like iPads, electronics. Something isn't adding up here. Put it in storage. But there is more to this than what you said. Give them the belongings back, and then leave them alone. Sounds like they jumped ship and ran away from a toxic situation with their mom. You're leaving out a lot of information. People do not just abandon their things, expensive items etc. without there being a good reason. Not going to assume the worst, but there definitely is more info to this story. Seems fishy AF. Well, usually a parent would keep the rooms as they are just in case their children want to return home. It sounds like you are having an inappropriate reaction to this entire situation. Do you often behave like this? As a mother, I would be devastated if my kids left. I'd probably be so upset with myself and cry uncontrollably. I would leave their room as is, and wait for their return. You could and should make an attempt to get your daughter's stuff back to them versus throwing it away or donating it. Please don't donate their iPads and personal devices without talking to them.